Hey everybody, it's Beth from Yoga and Reiki Bliss, and I wanted to pop in today with a practice to help us mobilize our hips so that we can sit with a little more ease in our meditation practice. So the action we're going to be focusing on today is the action of rotating the thighs outward and moving them away from the middle of the body, abduction. So think of like when you're sitting in cross-legged position, Sukhasana. That's the action we're going for. And so we're going to try to mobilize the hips, as I said, in a variety of different ways with the hopes that when we come to sit, the hips and pelvis will feel a little more ease, and we're going to elevate the pelvis so that we can lengthen the spine with ease. So for our practice today, it'd be great if you had a blanket or two. If you don't have a blanket or two, a pillow could work. And I think having a couple of yoga blocks is always a great idea as well. So let's hop on the mat and we're going to start lying down. And when you come to lie down, have your knees bent, feet on the ground, comfortable distance apart from each other, a comfortable distance away from you, just enough that you can feel your feet offering you a little rooting. And we'll just start by taking a few rounds of breath. Just enough that we know we're breathing in and we know we're breathing out. So a little time to connect. Notice the way your feet sit on the ground. Notice the way your pelvis rests. And for just a moment, rock your pelvis backward towards your head so that your lower back comes toward the ground, and feel that action. Feel how this backward pelvic tilt or posterior pelvic tilt, how that changes the shape of your spine. And then rock your pelvis forward towards your thigh bones. So you make a big curve of your low back away from the ground. And again, notice how the shape of your pelvis influences the shape of your spine. And then we'll dial the pelvis back to a spot between. So you're not too flat in your low back, you're not too posteriorly tilted in your pelvis, and you're not too forward tilted or anterior tilted. You're right in the middle. And from here, we'll walk the feet and the knees together. We're going to take a breath in. And when you exhale, rotate your thighs out, meaning your knees open up. The soles of your feet come together, like the wings of a butterfly. And then gather your knees back together. And so this is essentially the action. Externally rotating your thighs and moving your thighs away from the middle of your body, abduction. And then we're going to gather them back together. So rotating them back inward to neutral in adduction, bringing them together. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathing in, let your thighs open, or breathing out, just as long as you're breathing. And 1 more time. And we're going to bring the knees back up. We're going to keep them there. And let's start with your left leg. Go ahead and bring your left knee in the direction of your chest without your hands. Now do that action. Rotate your thigh out, almost like you're going to cross your ankle over top of your right knee. Then parallel your leg and lower your foot, stopping just before you touch the ground. Go ahead, bring your knee towards your chest, rotate your thigh out, but let it hover ankle over knee so you're not touching. And rotate your thigh inward to neutral. Hover your heel just above the earth. So we're mobilizing these hips, or excuse me, your left hip more particularly. And we're going to do that little sequence 1 more time, exactly like that. Drawing in. So we're just trying to see what range of motion our muscles will allow without any external force. We're going to parallel and we're going to hover. Now this time, bring that same left knee in, rotate your thigh out, do cross it, ankle over knee. And then let your thigh rotate out to the degree that it's willing. And the next time you breathe in, we're going to rotate your thigh in so your knee turns towards your belly button, and rotate your thigh back out. We're going to do that 2 more times. We're going to rotate your thigh in and rotate your thigh out. So your ankle stays connected to your knee. Rotate your left thigh in and rotate your left thigh out. And we'll stay there. And then you have an option. You can stay here, or you can bring this shape towards you and lightly hold your right thigh. And feel free to draw it as close in as you like, even if your pelvis starts to tuck under in that posterior tilt, even if your low back comes to the ground. And hang out for a second with your breath here. Hang out for a second with the sensation. Now, if you were to add in just a little bit of that forward tilt or anterior tilt, just enough that you felt your low back curve a little away from the ground, does that change your breath at all? Does it change the sensation at all? And then with your next exhale, let's lower the right foot, lower the left foot, and back we come. Again, we're going to organize the pelvis, neither cat nor cow. So neither flat low back nor overarched low back, right in the middle. And bring your right knee towards your chest. Here's that rotation out, hovering your ankle just above your knee. Parallel your leg and lower your heel without touching. So this could be a breath in, bringing your knee towards your chest. This could be a breath out as you rotate out. This could be a breath in as you rotate in. And as you lower, this could be your breath out. 2 more times. Again, just see what your muscles will do in terms of lifting, lowering, rotating, without any help from your hands. 1 more time, exactly like that. Knee comes in, rotates out at the thigh, rotates back to neutral, heel lowers. Now let's go ahead and bring it in and do cross ankle over knee. Make that connection and keep that connection. And the next time you inhale, let's rotate your right thigh in so your knee points a little more towards your belly button and rotate your thigh back out. 2 more times like that. Breathing in and breathing out. And 1 last time. Now, the next time you rotate your thigh out, keep it there. You can stay as you are, or you could draw the shape towards you and hold the back of your left thigh. Again, let it come in as much as you'd like. So you can experience the sensation, you can experience the breath. And then if you were to move your pelvis a little bit in that forward or anterior tilt, just curving your low back a little bit away from the ground, so a little more weight towards your tail. Does that change your breath or the sensation? And then with your exhale next, we'll lower each foot. Let's let the arms open out to the side like a T. Let's walk the feet wide as your mat. Find a breath in. And when you exhale, tip your 2 knees over to your left. Little windshield wiper twist. And then inhale your knees up and let them rock over to the right. And so we'll do this a couple more times. As you go to the left, your left thigh is rotating out, your right thigh is rotating in, and vice versa as you go to the right. We're going to do that 1 more time. And then bring your knees back up and invite your 2 knees towards your chest. Roll to the side of your body that you choose or have the most space to, and then we'll come on up. We're going to meet in a little tabletop. You can put a blanket under your knees as you like. And we'll move through just a few rounds of cat and cow just to give the spine a little extra movement here. So set your knees under your hips with your thigh bones pretty vertical. Set your hands under your shoulders, your fingers relatively spread, not too wide, not too close. And the next time you exhale, see if you can curl your tailbone down. There's that posterior tilt. And let your low back, mid back, upper back round. Let your head drop. And then when you inhale, feel the pelvis tilt forward. And little by little, let this walk a little back bend through the length of your spine. So each time we repeat, can you let the pelvis move? And notice as the pelvis moves, how that starts to move the spine. And let's go through each shape one more time. And let's find our way to the space between neither cat nor cow. And tuck all your toes under. Now we're going to make a little rocking back to your heels. So hips toward heels, to whatever degree your knees are willing to do this. And then we're going to come up. We're going to do the same action. The only difference is we're going to rotate our left thigh out. So toes stay on the ground. As you hinge back towards your right heel, rotate your left thigh out so your knee is pointing out to the left. And then we come back. We do that 2 more times, same left side. And 1 more time. Good. Let's check it in on the right. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, rotate your hips, rotate your right thigh out as you rock your hips back. And inhale, we come back up. Again, we'll rotate the right thigh out. And inhale, we come back up. And 1 more time. Terrific. Now from here, take your right foot and step your right foot forward. Your right hand can lift out of the way as you need to, but we'll start with the heel under the knee. And we'll tuck the left toes, we'll lift the left knee. Find a breath in here, and we're going to stay low toward the ground. Pivot your way around to the left till you come to the back of your mat with your left foot facing forward. Take a breath in, and when you exhale, step your right foot forward. Inhale, sweep your arms out, rise all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, fold your way all the way over to forward bend. You can bend your knees. Go ahead and take your left leg back behind you. Pivot around to your left. So you've got a lunge with your left foot forward and step forward to forward bend. Breathe in. Let's sweep out and rise all the way up. And as you exhale, swan dive your way over. We're going to do that again. This time, right leg steps back. Pivot around to your right. Turn it into your lunge. Take a breath in. And we'll step forward. Inhale, sweep out, rise up. As you exhale, we'll wide arms, hinge forward from your hips. Again, bend the knees as you need to. Take your left leg, step it on back. Stay pretty low as you pivot around to the front of your mat. We're in our lunge, and we'll step forward. With a breath in, let's sweep out, rise all the way up. One last little swan dive. And just for a moment, let's step back into dog pose, that upside down V shape, and welcome a long breath in, a long breath out. Just a little invitation as you push the ground away to invite the spine to soar up through the hips. You can put a little bend in your knees as you need to feel that feeling of your pelvis folding forward over your legs. One last breath. And let's take the knees to the ground. And let's come to sit. I'm going to bring the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. We're just going to have a moment just to notice as you let the thighs rotate out and abduct, move away from the middle of your body. In your seat, what does that do to your pelvis? You can see mine's just a little bit tucked toward my tail. So sitting up on a blanket would be really wise for me, which I'm going to do, but in a minute. Let's try this. Take your right foot. You're going to hold your right hand on your right ankle. Take your left hand to your inner arch of your right foot and start to make little circles. And I'd love you to imagine that in between your feet is like a canvas and you're drawing a little circle. on this canvas. And then gradually let the circle get a little larger. And as you do, let your pelvis move a little bit. And as the circle increases, let your body move with you. Let your spine undulate with you. And just see if that starts to free anything up around your hip joint. The movement feel easier, smoother. One last circle. And then from here, we're going to reverse the direction, teensy at first, and just seeing if you can feel most of this movement in your hip socket, your thigh bone gently moving around. And then within reason for your body, start to increase the circle. And as you do, let your pelvis move. And as the circle increases, let the sort of the undulation, if you will, of your spine increase. And we'll take 2 more circles here. And then we're going to let that foot come down. Let that thigh come back to external rotation and just notice if it feels any different. And then we're going to check it in on the other side. So I'm going to hold my left heel with my left hand. I'm going to put the right hand in the arch of my foot and make little circles. So I'm just supporting my ankle. And my knee is just kind of going along for the ride, right? It's not really doing anything. And as I increase the circles, I'm going to let my pelvis rock. And as I do that, I'm going to see, does the circle get a little larger? Does it feel any freer or smoother? I'm going to take 2 more circles. And then we're going to pause, come back to our starting position and start with those little circles. And gradually make them a little bit larger. And larger still. And 2 more circles. And then we come back, Baddha Konasana. And I'm just going to check in my body to see if that, even that movement freed things up a bit, to feel a little change in the way my pelvis is sitting on the floor. It feels, for me right now, a little less toward my tailbone. That said, I am going to take a blanket. I'm just going to fold it up and place it like a book with the corner facing me. And I'm going to come just sit on the corner so that the front of my pelvis can drop. And you can see there's that pelvis tilted a little more upright, a little less toward my tail. Then I'm going to continue that journey, and you can too, right? Sit up high enough. Maybe you need 2 blankets, you'll see, or maybe you need a thinner blanket just to bring your pelvis and spine upright. And then if there's room, we're going to hinge forward. And when the hinging stops, you are welcome to let your head soften, your upper back soften, and we'll take a few rounds of breath and see if you can breathe into the back of your lungs. And then the next time you breathe in, let's come up. Okay, so now I'd love to invite us into our meditation. So if you have multiple blankets or pillows, set it up something like this, where you can take the corner of it. So I've got this one blanket folded a couple of times, so it looks like a book. And I'd love you to sit on the corner. If you don't have multiple blankets, but you've got a block and a blanket, same idea. Turn the block on the corner, turn the blanket on top on the corner. And we'll come to sit on the corner. And we'll come to sit, if Sukhasana works, with your shins crossed, or Siddhasana with the tops of the feet and the fronts of the shins on the ground, or Baddha Konasana, you might want some support under your knees. But the whole idea is as we come to sit with our pelvis upright, the thigh bones can drop. And if we don't have the blanket pushing up on the thighs, the thigh bones and the knees can drop with a little more ease. And what we're looking for here is that the pelvis can be upright to bring the spine upright so that the muscles around the hips and the spine don't have to work quite so hard. And then your hands can rest in a place of comfort. I am just going to set a timer for 5 minutes. I'm using my phone. You could use a timer on your oven. You could use an external timer, whatever you have. Just something that you don't have to be conscious about the time. You can let something else worry about the time. And we'll start our time. I'm going to go for about 5 minutes. So close your eyes or soften your gaze. And feel the weight of your sitting bones in front of your pelvis, your pubic bones heavy. And of the rooting of the lower half of your body, can you allow your spine to gently float upright? You can soften your chin a little bit so that your attention starts to turn in on itself. Let your attention rest inward on the gentle rise and fall of your breath. And you might decide to rest your attention on the sensation of the breath moving in and out of the body. Or you might decide to rest your attention on the air as it moves through your nose. And of course, when you notice your mind wandering, which it likely will do, you just label it thinking and come back to your breath without judgment. Right? Ever so gently, we guide the attention back again and again to the breath. Welcome your next breath in and welcome your next breath out. And then gently allow your eyes to open just enough to take in your outside surroundings. Thank you so much for meeting me here today and exploring with me. If you have any questions at all, let me know. You can write a comment below. You can send me an email. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, I'd love to welcome you to do that. And you can certainly follow me on all the social medias at This Is Your Bliss. And for more about me and my classes, you can visit our website, thisisyourbliss.com. All right. Thanks again. Stay well, and I will see you soon.